Now, should I take the COVID-19 vaccine? Many people around the world still have questions about COVID-19 vaccines. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, experts are learning more about the coronavirus and virus variants that cause COVID, along with how the vaccines are working. With vaccine hesitancy still a major drawback, some of the frequently asked questions on COVID-19 vaccines in Nigeria. Joining us to talk more about this is Dr. Nneka, Onwu, the Director, Primary Healthcare Systems Development with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. She joins us from our Abuja studio. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Millicent. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you. Let's begin with questions around the COVID-19 vaccine safety. If the COVID vaccine is safe, why are some people adversely affected by it? And I know there are some people who experience side effects, most people. But in some cases, some have been said to have died after receiving it. And extreme cases of myocarditis, pericarditis have also been reported after the mRNA vaccination.
Yeah, thank you very much. Should you take the vaccine? Yes, you should take the vaccine. Taking the vaccine and really completing, the 2 doses and even taking the booster protects you, your loved one, and your community, from COVID. The safety of the vaccine is something that is not in question. I mean, this vaccine we rolled out last year, March, and we've been vaccinating millions, like the previous update talked about. More than 20 million people have been vaccinated. And if there was a problem with it, would have known by now. But for safety, WHO is the first body. They go through it, they go through the process, how the vaccine was produced, and all the parameters. When we get the vaccines here, and is adjudged safe, we still go through the process. NAFDAC takes over the vaccine, is not released to us, and they go through the same process, checking, whatever the profile is of the vaccine and how it's done, and all the tests that they do at NAFDAC. And that is, and when they certify it safe, they release it to us and we start vaccination. But it doesn't even stop there. NAFDAC continues to check, do spot checks, samples from time to time across the nation in all the vaccination sites to make sure that the vaccines are still, potent. As for, there was a question about people dying. We don't have any such. Yeah, when we take vaccines, anything that you introduce into your body, people react differently. I take chloroquine, I itch all over. My sister does. People take, even water or Coke, they react differently. So one would expect, even for children, mothers, when they take their children for routine immunization, they're asked to give paracetamol because we know that the child might have a fever. It's the same thing with the vaccine, this COVID vaccine, because when it gets into your body recognizes it as, something foreign. So what does it do? It gears up its fight system to fight this foreign body. And in doing this, it produces antibodies. And of course, if your antibodies are revved up, what will happen? It's almost simulating as if you have the infection. And the body now uses that antibodies to protect you. So any other time you come across, the COVID, it comes into your body, your system is already geared up to attack it and then, get it out of your system. So those things are expected. They're called adverse events, following immunization. It happens across whether routine immunization or this COVID vaccine. And that is also being monitored. We take data, by NAFDAC, and I think they'll continue to publish and, those data about adverse events. So there's nothing really. And we at NPHCDA also, we collect data on any of the reports. We tell people as soon as you come take the vaccine, should you have any reaction or anything you feel is untoward, please call this number. The number to call is the disease surveillance notification officer who is at that particular local government or ward. So all those things have been set in place, knowing that it's important that our people are very much informed and also protected.
So perhaps, Dr. Onwu, that, in Nigeria we've been better protected, but, a lot of people wonder, are we taking the same vaccines? Is it the vaccines being taken elsewhere around the world that Nigeria is also getting? Because we're really trying to address the vaccine hesitancy, which we seem to have in the country. But I'd also like to ask you, and this is with when you mentioned antibodies that have been developed. Some have said that if you catch COVID, you now have recovered from it, you really have a strong, better immunity, and perhaps the vaccine is not needed. Is this true?
And that's not true. We have tested and you have immunity, but how long does the immunity last? And those are the research that is going on and even going on in Nigeria. So it's important, even after you've had the COVID, to make sure you take, the vaccines. You're better protected. It's a novel, virus, but we know that, that's why we're taking the first dose, second dose, and also the booster. So having that infection does not protect you from being infected. The best thing is to protect yourself. Make sure if you have a house, you have all your doors shut, all your windows, burglary, everything. That's what we are saying. For your safety, take all the, doses, the first dose, the second, depends on the vaccine. You take what is required to better protect yourself. That having the COVID, that disease, having it once or not, does not protect you from subsequent, coming down with serious COVID. But you asked about the vaccines, and the vaccines we are taking here are the same things they are taking all over the world. And I think we are very lucky, Nigeria, for having the COVAX facility and the African Union, providing for us, making sure that we get our vaccines at very good rates. We have the AstraZeneca. I think that was the first one we got in here with the Pfizer. And that is the same thing they are taking anywhere you take it, whether in the UK or not. They all have their batch numbers serialized. And that's one of the things that NAFDAC does, actually, when we get the vaccines. They are looking at, the trajectory and where the vaccines are produced, how it has come, and those tests are done. We also have Moderna. Moderna is the same that they are taking everywhere, whether in the US, UK, Canada, wherever. We also have Johnson & Johnson, which is another one that we have. And I think we are lucky in Nigeria to have all this array of vaccines for our people. Why Johnson & Johnson is a bit different, it's a one dose. And it's one of the things we are going to roll out very soon. People take one shot, and that is their, complete dose. The next thing they take is a booster, which will come like 2 months after. But the vaccines are the same. They're the same. We are being produced everywhere, being used everywhere. They are safe, are judged safe by NAFDAC and also by WHO.
Just before we let you go, in a few seconds, can one choose which one they get? Can one choose to take a particular vaccine and not the other?
Yeah, well, it depends on why the choice. I would advise, where you see whichever is available, they're all doing the same thing. It's just the name. It's like asking, do I take a dangote, which is the rice now? Let me not name names. Do I take a rosa rice? Do I take a tomato rice? They are all the same. What is available at that time is important that you take it and be protected. You might be saying, I want to take this, and unfortunately, it may not be at that facility at that time, or in a few weeks, and then you now lose out that opportunity to get yourself protected. So once you get there, the vaccines are all the same. Moderna, Pfizer, mRNA vaccines. AstraZeneca is also one of them, but not mRNA. And it's an adenovirus. The way the vaccine was produced is different, same as J&J. So all those vaccines are the same. They do the same things, that they get your body to respond against the COVID disease. So it's important that you take whichever one you find. They're all safe. We found it safe, and it's good to take it when it's available.
Thank you so much. We've been speaking to Dr. Nneka Onwu, the Director of Primary Healthcare Systems Development with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Millicent. It's a pleasure.